Toppin gets tangled up, swings it back outside. Smith takes the opening, rattles it in. He is perfect from the field.
Did you see that? Jaylen Smith just hit his 4th shot in 5 minutes. And he has every right to be celebrating like this, especially when it's against your former team. But it's been like this all season long for Jalen Smith. He's been big for the Pacers, coming off the bench in just 18 minutes a game, shooting a mind-boggling 70% from 2-point range and 50% from 3, averaging 10.2 points and 5.6 rebounds, helping contribute to the most productive bench in the league. Jalen Smith's insane shooting this season ranks him at just 2nd in true shooting in the league, just behind Derek Lively. But Jalen Smith is the one actually taking jump shots. So let me go ahead and break down how Jalen Smith gets his buckets and how he does it so efficiently. Of course, the Pacers are all about their quick shots. Here, Smith takes off at the free throw line, out-sprinting the other big, Walker Kessler, to beat him down the floor for an easy deuce. Because of Smith's ability to shoot, he can just sit back and let the ball handler draw and help and reap the rewards, as Sabonis sacks too far off and there's no help. I like to view Jalen Smith as the opposite side of a magnet to Tyrese Haliburton. When he drives inside, Jalen Smith just goes the opposite way, outside for a 3. Here, Smith fights to poke the loose ball out to Mathurin, and it ends up being a strong finish. Here again, the opposite magnet. Here, Tyrese beats his man off the dribble, forcing Smith's man up over, and that gives him another wide open shot. Tyrese Haliburton does all the shot creation here, and just look at how much time he has to set up and fire away. On this one, Bruce Brown draws 2 at the basket and he dumps it off to Jalen. Here, Jalen is spotted up in the corner, and when the help slides off him, he drains the triple. Don't be slow closing out on Jalen Smith, because he sure won't miss you. Here on the defensive end, Smith stands his ground against the Sabonis back down, actually getting a stop, and he sprints back, forcing a mismatch, and he seals his smaller defender for a quick 2 easy points. Against the Jazz's zone, here Smith hits them right in the heart and stops and hits a fadeaway turnaround jumper. And if you can get Jalen Smith going downhill, he can stop and make the shot. Even against bigger centers, Jalen Smith has no fear in his heart, banging into Jarrett Allen's chest to negate all of his height, just so he can finish over the top of him. Here he cleans up the glass twice, again due to the advantage created by the ball handler. It allows Smith to get good positioning for offensive rebounds. Jalen Smith knows when he has a size advantage and isn't afraid to show with some force if needed. Here against Katie, he takes a different approach, rather retreat dribbling into a mid-range jumper. Of course, if you just hustle down the floor for more easy points, here Jalen Smith gets a good seal in transition, gets the ball, and probably should have went for a pump fake here, but he can't get the acrobatic finish. Jalen Smith loves to do dribble handoffs because it increases the speed of the roll, and it allows him to slip behind the D here and elevate for the lob. This time off the Jazz miscommunication, Smith is able to just walk it down the middle, and here Jalen Smith uses another handoff, doesn't roll, instead popping, and his man drops far off, allowing him to hit yet another 3. Here, Smith's man is worried about containing the drive, so when Smith fades the off-ball screen, it frees him up for another 3. This time Jalen Smith gets the ball, and he has enough space to dribble once and set up a shot. And this is all due to the action that Indy ran, where Orlando's bigs got confused. Again, here's just a pick and pop. It's too open. Here's another one. This time Smith gets good positioning against Herter, but despite the bad entry pass, he can finish over both of them. And when Indy runs, they all run. Nobody finds Smith to box out, leaving him a wide open putback. Here, Jalen Smith doesn't even run that hard up the floor. He's just one step ahead of Sabonis, and it's enough. Here, Smith fights his way into the paint and separates himself from his man for a wide open shot at the basket. This time, Jalen Smith is in the corner and noticed John Collins fell asleep, so he cuts, and it's yet another easy two. Here, once he sees TJ touch the paint, he decides to cut from the corner, freeing himself for the pass, finishing through the contact for an and one. And honestly, bro's just kind of cracked at basketball. Even when you do close out hard, it's not like he can just take you off the dribble and lay it in using his size. Jalen Smith sees his matchups he likes and uses his solid fundamentals, his strength, to just finish over the top. It also might help that about a third of his shots have been wide open this season, so I'm sure that boosts his efficiency. But that also just proves he's in the right spots on the floor, and he helps contribute, making this Indy offense extra lethal. Having two stretch bigs to come off the bench is a unique weapon that not many teams have, especially when one of them is top 5 in true shooting percentage and is the only one shooting actual threes from their list. What's also scary is when you think about adding a guy like Gordon Hayward, a guy who, mind you, comes from Indy. He might make a possible return, and I talked about that in this video. You can click it in the top right, and it's probably going to be on the end. Anyways, Jalen Smith also has a 2.5 offensive box plus minus, pretty much proving how much better the offense is with him on the floor. But obviously it's not just Jalen Smith. 82% of his shots are assisted, so he's more part of an equation than a defensive solution. But just take a look at his shot chart. This guy is insane. So me personally, I'm prepared to crown Jalen Smith as Mr. Efficiency of the NBA. He's never going to take a contested shot, but he will run to the open spots on the floors, and his skill set helps contribute to why this Pacers offense is so hard to guard. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Jalen Smith is out of this world efficient, and James Jones has made some mistakes in the past. But let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think it's just a crazy hot streak or actual sustainable offense? And don't forget to subscribe, because we are on the road to 1K, and I'm going to be uploading a lot more. So you definitely don't want to miss out on the next vid. Thank you so much for tuning in.